What if I told you your brain doesn't want you to be rich? Not because you're lazy, not because you make bad choices, not because you don't work hard enough, but because deep inside your skull, buried under thousands of years of evolution, there is a mechanism that is actively working against your financial success. And here's the part that will really mess with your head. The more financially secure you get, the uncomfortable your brain becomes. Security feels like a threat. Stability feels like danger. And being broke feels familiar, safe, normal. I know, that sounds backwards. That sounds insane. But by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this happens, and more importantly, what you can do to stop it from controlling your financial life without you even knowing it. This is not about budgeting hacks. This is not a spend less on coffee conversation. This is about the wiring inside your brain that was built for a world that no longer exists. And until you understand that wiring, no financial advice in the world will work for you long term. Before we continue, this video is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. It explores behavioral patterns in spending and perception, not personal financial instruction. Now, let's get into it.
Let me paint you a picture. You get a bonus at work, or a tax refund. Maybe you land a new client, sell something, or finally get that raise you've been waiting for. And for a moment, just a moment, it feels incredible. You feel light, free, like things are finally clicking. But then something strange happens. Within weeks, sometimes days, the money is gone. Not because of one big thing. It just vanished. A few dinners out, an impulse buy, a subscription you forgot about, a friend needed help. Something broke, and you're right back to where you were. Sound familiar? Or maybe this one. You create a budget. A solid one. You're motivated, you're disciplined. The first week goes perfectly. Then life happens. You slip once. And instead of getting back on track, you blow the whole thing. Like you're subconsciously relieved to be back in chaos. Or this. You have a financial goal. Pay off the credit card. Build a 3-month emergency fund. Invest consistently. And every time you get close, every single time, something comes up. The car, the medical bill, the family emergency. It's like the universe won't let you get ahead. Here's what I want you to know. It's not the universe. It's you. But not in the way you think. Not because you're broken or weak or bad with money. It's because your brain is running a program that was written long before money even existed. And it is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Here's what you need to understand about your brain. It is not optimized for wealth. It is optimized for survival. And those two things are not the same. Your brain, specifically the ancient, primitive parts of it, was shaped over roughly 200,000 years of human evolution. And for almost all of that time, here's what life looked like. Scarcity was normal. Feast and famine was the rhythm. You ate when there was food, you starved when there wasn't. And tomorrow was never guaranteed. Now, your brain is incredibly smart. It recognized a pattern. If you have resources right now, use them. Because tomorrow, a predator might eat you, a drought might kill your crops, or your tribe might be attacked. Holding on to resources for the future was a luxury you could rarely afford. And so, your brain's reward system was wired to spend, consume, and deplete, not to save and accumulate. That wiring, it's still there, in you, right now. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your brain also has a threat detection system, a very sensitive alarm that constantly scans your environment for signs of danger. And here's the thing, financial pressure activates that alarm. Debt, unpaid bills, an empty account, these things trigger your stress response system. Cortisol goes up, adrenaline kicks in, and you feel a sharp, urgent kind of focus. And your brain, it is very good at responding to that urgency. Now flip it. Financial security,
a full savings account, no looming debt, stable income. What happens? The alarm goes quiet, the cortisol drops, the urgency fades, and to your ancient brain, that silence doesn't feel like peace. It feels like you stopped paying attention. It feels like you're about to get ambushed. There's a name for this in behavioral psychology. It's called chronic stress habituation. Your nervous system actually becomes accustomed to a certain level of tension. And when that tension disappears, your body tries to recreate it. Not consciously, you're not trying to sabotage yourself, but your behavior starts drifting in the direction of recreating the familiar stress, the spending, the chaos, the crisis, because your brain, on a very deep level, has decided that stress equals safety and calm equals danger. Think about that for a second. But it doesn't stop there. Let's talk about a concept called loss aversion. In the 1970s, two psychologists, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, made a discovery that changed everything we thought we knew about human decision-making. They found that the pain of losing something is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the same thing. Losing $20 hurts about twice as much as finding $20 feels good. What does this mean for your financial behavior? It means your brain is far more motivated to avoid losing what you have than to build something new. The moment you start accumulating, the moment there's something real to lose, your anxiety goes up, not down, because now you have something to protect. Now there's risk, and your brain, trying to help you, starts pulling you back. Whispers of doubt, impulse decisions, sudden reasons to spend what you've saved. Not because you're self-destructive, because your brain is doing its job. It's just doing that job in a world it was never designed for.
Now, I want to connect this to something that almost nobody talks about: your financial identity. See, your brain doesn't just respond to money. It responds to who you believe you are. And for a lot of people, maybe for you, being broke isn't just a circumstance. At some point, it became an identity. Maybe you grew up watching your parents struggle. Maybe you internalized phrases like, "we can't afford that," or "money doesn't grow on trees," or "people like us don't live like that." Maybe you've been broke for so long that being broke just feels like you. And here is the deep, uncomfortable truth about identity. Your brain will protect it. Whatever you believe about yourself, your brain will arrange your behavior to confirm that belief. It is called cognitive dissonance. When your actions contradict your self-image, your brain experiences discomfort. So if deep down you believe, "I am bad with money," every time you start doing well financially, your brain will create discomfort, an itch, an urge to do something that proves you right. You'll find a way to spend it, not because money is bad, but because having money contradicts who you think you are, and your brain would rather be right than be rich. Let that land for a second. Your brain would rather be right than be rich. This is why people win the lottery and lose it all within 5 years. This is why athletes make millions and end up bankrupt. This is why the same people keep ending up in the same financial situations no matter how many times they try to start fresh. The external numbers change, the internal identity doesn't. And the brain always pulls you back to identity. There's one more layer here, and this one is about the present moment. Behavioral economists call it present bias. Simply put, your brain dramatically overvalues what it can have right now compared to what it could have in the future. A researcher named Richard Thaler demonstrated this in experiments where people would choose a smaller reward today over a significantly larger reward in a few weeks. And the gap wasn't small. People would take $50 today over $300 in 6 months. Why? Because the future is abstract. Your brain can't really feel it. But right now is vivid, real, immediate. So when you're standing in a store and you see something you want, your brain isn't thinking about the investment you could have made with that money in 10 years. It's thinking, this feels good right now. And right now will almost always win against someday. This isn't a character flaw. This is biology. The question is,
What do you do with that biology? Okay, so your brain loves scarcity. It's hardwired for feast and famine. It confuses stress with safety. It protects your identity, even though your identity is keeping you poor, and it values right now over 10 years from now. That sounds like a lot to fight against. But here's the shift. You don't fight it. You redirect it. The brain doesn't need to be defeated, it needs to be given a new job. Let me give you 3 things you can start doing, not to fix your finances overnight, but to begin changing the relationship your brain has with money. First one is, make security feel urgent. Remember, your brain responds to urgency. It needs a reason to act now. So instead of framing saving as a building a future, frame it as protecting yourself from a threat that already exists, because it does exist. You are one job loss, one medical emergency, one car breakdown away from a crisis. That is the real danger. Not saving is the risky behavior. When you reframe safety as the emergency response, not the luxury, your brain starts treating it differently. The second one is, interrupt the identity loop. Start paying attention to the stories you tell yourself about money. I'm just not good with money. Money always slips through my fingers. I always end up back here. Every time you catch one of those stories, stop and replace it with a question. Is that actually true? Or is that just what I'm used to? You are not your financial past. You are not your parents' relationship with money. You are a person with a brain that is capable of learning new patterns, but the old story has to be named before it can be changed. The third one is, make the future feel real. Your brain discounts the future because it can't experience it. So make it concrete, not, I want to be financially free someday. Instead, in 3 years, I want to have 6 months of expenses in savings, which means I need to put aside this exact amount every single month. Put a specific number to it, a specific date, a specific account. When the future becomes a real, tangible thing with a number attached to it, your brain can start to feel it. And when it can feel it, present bias weakens. None of these are magic. None of them will transform your finances overnight. But they will start doing something that no budget spreadsheet can do. They will begin to shift who your brain thinks you are. And once your identity shifts, once your brain stops fighting the idea of financial security and starts working towards it, everything changes.
Your brain isn't your enemy. It's just an ancient tool living in a modern world. It was built for a world where the worst thing you could do was not respond to a threat. But here's what evolution didn't account for. In this world, the greatest threat isn't the one that makes you feel stressed. It's the one that feels safe to ignore. Financial security isn't comfortable for your brain, but it is necessary for your life. And the work, the real work, isn't learning how to budget. It's learning how to make peace with a version of yourself that your brain has been quietly afraid of your whole life. A version of you that is stable, safe, and free. That version isn't dangerous. That version is possible. If this video made you see your own financial behavior differently, even just a little, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. Because everything I make on this channel is designed to do exactly that. Not to give you tips you already know, but to help you understand why you do what you do with money, so you can actually change it. And if you want to go even deeper, I have a video right here that breaks down why everything feels expensive, even when you're earning more. It connects directly to what we just talked about, and I think it'll hit just as hard. Watch that next, and I'll see you there.